Hello, and welcome back to stately Vaughan Manor. Well, I've been tagged to do the last 10 books tag, and I was tagged by Booktime with Elvis. Booktime with Elvis is a fantastic booktube channel. You should all be watching Booktime with Elvis. The guy that does this channel and does these videos, he's an English teacher who lives in a small town in the Czech Republic, and he does great videos. He gives you really well thought out, intelligent book reviews. He has a couple of videos where he goes out in his town and kind of shows you around his little town, and it's fantastic. He does great stuff. All of you, run and see Booktime with Elvis. I will have a link down below of his version of this tag so you can go right over there. But now, on with the tag. What we got? 10 questions. First question is, the last book you didn't finish? Well, let me tell you something about me. It's pretty darn rare that I don't finish a book. Now, when I start a book, I pretty much have to finish it. I'm weird that way. I got to start at the beginning, go all the way to the end of the book, have to finish it, otherwise my brain will explode. I'm weird that way. Also, I can't read more than one book at once. I have to read this one and then go to this one. It's a whole thing. But I almost did. I almost did DNF a book last year. And that would be this book. William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. I got this at Half Price Books apparently for $3.48. I was overpriced or overcharged by $3.48, I think. Because this book, man, so it's borderline incomprehensible when you start this book. If you go in and you don't know anything about it and you just start to read, it's like, what? What the hell is this? This is all gibberish. It is kind of like that. Actually, it is like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of feel like you shouldn't have to read a ton of critical apparatus before you start a book. You should be able to read the book and have it be somewhat comprehensible. But no, William Faulkner said, no, man, I'm going to make this as difficult as possible for you. And so he did. So I DNF'd it for like a week, but my brain was starting to fry. I have to finish a book when I started. So I had to pick it back up, and I had to read this thing. Fortunately, it did start to make sense after a while. I started to figure it out. The further along you go in this, it gradually starts to make sense. And then you got to go back to the front and reread it and be like, oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah. That book. Anyway, on to number 2. The last book you reread. That would be Dracula, of course. I don't have the copy that I reread. It's in the vault of ancient science fiction, actually down there, below the manor. I do have a copy of Dracula here, of course, up on the shelf. It's up there. But Dracula, of course, I love Dracula. I read that every couple of years, at least. The last book you bought. Let's see here. Here we go. The last book I bought. I got 2 in the mail on the same day. I guess it was on Friday that I got 2 books in the mail that I had ordered. One was Mythico Wood by Robert Holdstock. And I haven't read anything from this guy since the 90s. And somebody hit me up on the comments and said, hey, you got to read this guy. And I said, you're right. Where should I start? I said. And I was advised to start with Mythico Wood. So I promptly ordered it. And I'm going to be reading it maybe next month. Definitely by the month after. But maybe next month I'll be able to get to this. I look forward to it. Look forward to reading this. So that's one of the books I got. And the other book I got was this one, Later by Stephen King. It just came out fresh off the presses. And I've been hearing only good things about it, which is encouraging. Considering it's Stephen King, and sometimes I'll get into that in my Stephen King video tomorrow. But yeah, only good things I've heard about this, and it sounds great. I read the back. It sounds awesome. It's not that long, so it probably doesn't have any of his, you know, long excursions into meaninglessness that some of his books have. This looks like it's going to be a really good read, and I look forward to that. Okay. Next question, number 4. The last book you said you read, but didn't. I usually don't lie about things like that. I mean, if I didn't read a book, I'll let you know. There are plenty of books I didn't read. Most of them I haven't read. But the last time I remember lying about a book, saying I read a book and didn't, was in high school. You know, back in high school, we all did that. And that was this book, which we were assigned to read, and I didn't read it. I probably did the Cliff Notes or something. I can't remember. But this is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. What a dummy I am, because this is a great book. This is one of my favorite books, actually. I love Hawthorne. But, you know, back in high school, probably wasn't too into him. But this is a great book. Of course, I've read it like 5 times since high school. I like this book a lot. I mean, it has that beginning part that has nothing to do with the rest of the book, but that's okay. It's still great. I really like this one a lot. So that's the last book I said I read, but didn't. Okay, next question. The last book you wrote in the margins of. I never do that. I never write in the margins of my books. Oddly enough, I do like it when I buy a used book and it has writing in it or it's got highlights. You think I would hate that, but I kind of like it. It's a little mark from the previous owner about what they thought and what they thought was important. And it's always kind of cool to stumble upon that for me. But I'm a weirdo because, of course, I wouldn't do that myself. So, yeah. And the last book you had signed is the next question, question number 6. It was a Richard Dawkins book. I know it was a memoir. I know I never read it, but I did have it signed. My girlfriend and I, we both went and got his book and had it signed. And I remembered as we were going up there and having the book signed, Richard Dawkins flirted with my girlfriend. That guy. Anyway, and I have no idea where that book is even. I don't know. The last book you lost, it might have been the Richard Dawkins book. No, the last book you lost. Well, listen, I tend not to lose books, except for that Richard Dawkins one. The last book that went missing was Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. I know it's around here somewhere. You see, it was stolen by the Phantom of the library. The Phantom of the library that stalks the dark halls of stately Vaughan Manor and steals my books and puts them in strange places. So eventually I will find this book. It'll be in some strange place. It'll be in the corner under a chair or something. It'll be, you know, I don't know where it'll be. It'll be someplace odd, but I will stumble upon it because the Phantom, he likes to stick things in strange places. But it would be Stranger in a Strange Land. The last book you had to replace. I'm not going to replace Stranger in a Strange Land because I know I'm going to find it. I can't remember the last time I replaced a book. Not deliberately, anyway. Yeah, I did recently replace a book. I did, but I have the previous copy, and it's fine. It's this book. I replaced Daredevil. This is the Daredevil Epic Collection, Volume 1, The Man Without Fear. This is the first 21 issues of Daredevil, and it's amazing and fantastic because it's Daredevil. But I replaced it, and I replaced it with this big guy. Daredevil Omnibus Volume 1. It's gigantic, and it has the first 41 issues of Daredevil, and the first annual, and Fantastic Four number 73. It's got a lot of comics in here. It's fantastic. It's all Daredevil. So yeah, that's the last one I replaced. Let's see here. What are we on? The last book you had an argument over. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I had an argument over a book. I really don't know. Maybe tomorrow that will change, because tomorrow I'm going to be doing my Stephen King video. I'm going to be doing my top 5, what I believe his 5 best books were. And then I'm going to be talking about some issues with Stephen King. And I will be mentioning a couple books in particular. And after that, some people might want to argue with me, and that's fine. So maybe tomorrow, we'll see. The last book you couldn't get a hold of. Well, let me tell you, if I want a book, I'll get a hold of it. The last book I couldn't get a hold of. Hey, if I really want a book, like I said, I'll get it. There are some books that I haven't gotten because they're just a little too expensive. I can't reasonably buy them for however much they are, because I'm not like some big time book collector. You might think that I am, but I'm really not. And I will pay a high price for a book if it's a book I really want, and I think it's worth the money. The last book I could think of, I wanted to try to find the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie in hardcover, which I've never seen, but it must exist, and it does actually exist. I've seen a few on eBay, but they're very expensive. So I was like, do I really want it that much? Probably not. So I guess that kind of counts. I gotta figure that someday the First Law trilogy will be out in some extra fancy edition. I'm hoping, because it's fantastic. So hopefully that will happen. Yeah. And that was the last question. Yay! We made it through a tag. Now, traditionally, you are supposed to tag somebody. I don't know who's done this. I probably should have done some research before I started filming, but I didn't. You know how it is. I just hit play and just let go with a bare minimum of preparation, and I mean a bare minimum. I'm going to tag the Bookclectic. Fantastic channel. You probably all watch it already. The Bookclectic. She might have already done this. I didn't check. I don't remember seeing it. No. So I'm going to say the Bookclectic and just hope I'm right and that she hasn't done this tag. But we will see. Anyway. Thank you, Booktime with Elvis, for tagging me. That was very thoughtful. I will be back here again tomorrow when I do my Stephen King video, his 5 best books, and some issues I have with Stephen King. Okay, guys, I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Bye.